What's up, everyone? Welcome back. I've been waiting for some news to build up over the last week or so before I decided to make a new video covering Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and yesterday they finally dropped a new video centered around X-Men, and boy was it exciting. Let's jump right into this trailer, and this trailer actually gives us a lot to chew on. It starts with various characters including Black Panther, Dormammu, and Magneto, and a couple others wielding Infinity Stones before it cuts to Magneto wielding the Power Stone and destroying the X Mansion. You get to see new characters in battle, along with some of the story narrative involving Magneto, Mystique, and Juggernaut, and the Sentinels. I do like what I see from the level design, including how part of the level is inside of X Mansion, and it kind of looks like it's part of a different time, because there's sometimes when the sky looks light, and then there's other times when it looks very post-apocalyptic style, like it does whenever the X Mansion's being destroyed. It did look kind of weird to me, though, that the Sentinels don't actually move whenever they're absorbing punishment. So what I mean is, it's like you're hitting them, and so do the bosses. It's like they're not reacting to being hit, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying that they should constantly be getting stunned, but in some cases they should. You know, in some boss battles, you'll be hitting the boss and you'll see them absorbing the punishment and their body moves, and every once in a while they get stunned, but then they have basically uninterruptible attacks, and that's something that I feel, I don't know, it kind of looked weird. It could just be me, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing it in the shots we've seen from the trailers and gameplay, but the narrative does shift when the Black Order shows up and Magneto decides that it's in his best interest to team up and take on the greater threat that is the Black Order. This should make for an interesting story, and one that I'm excited to get into for sure. Now, they did show gameplay for specific characters last week, like Miss Marvel, Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, Hawkeye, Wolverine, Storm, and I think there might have been maybe Rocket Raccoon or something. And while that stuff is neat, most of that we'd kind of already seen in other trailers, so I'll leave a link in the description below so that you can go check those out on your own if you want, but I'm not going to fully cover those because it's mainly going over their moves and styles, and some of them are very similar, especially when you get into Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen and all the spider heroes kind of have similar moves. One thing that I would like for them to talk about more is the ISO 8 system. They've kind of gone over it a little bit, but they haven't really given a full description of it, in my opinion, and I want to know if they'll be using a prestige system like they did in Marvel Heroes, whereas after you get, I believe it's level 60, there's a prestige system and you can keep leveling up higher, and I think you can go to level 70. I don't remember specifically how it worked, but it was a way to basically keep making your character more powerful and a reason to keep playing. And I would like to also know if there will be other activities other than the Infinity Trials, which are similar to Dimensional Rifts in Future Fight. Although Future Fight is a mobile game, there are a lot of ideas in that game that would go great in MUA3. There's a lot of ideas in Marvel Heroes that would go great in Ultimate Alliance 3. Ultimately, I don't think that they're going to do a lot of that, and I think they should, like the world boss raids, legendary battles, special missions, the epic quest lines they have. I think all those would be awesome. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and check out Marvel Future Fight and some of those other, I think Strike Force has some of that too, some of the other mobile Marvel games that they have. They're very fun Marvel games in my opinion, but you know, they are loaded with microtransactions, and that's just kind of what you would expect from a mobile game in particular anyways. So I'm sure we'll see more at E3 next month, So most of these questions will probably be answered. I'm sure they're going to have a live gameplay that people will be able to play on the floor, and it's probably going to be covered a lot more once we get to E3. But these are some of the things that I would really like for them to answer, because, you know, when the first 2 games released back in the day, I've mentioned this in one of my other videos, in-game activities and things of that nature weren't really a thing. You know, you didn't really need those. We were still in the time of everything being single player, story based, and there was multiplayer co-op things, but we weren't really at the point where there were these games that were just loaded with in-game activities that kept you wanting to come back and play. Now, that's not to say that there weren't any at all, because there were a few, and there were MMOs and stuff like that. But to me, if you're going to make a game like this, especially in this day and age, you need to have more replayability aside from just play it on a harder difficulty, which they do have. And I think there will be things that I'm mentioning, and I know they have confirmed a couple of those, but I would like to know the full extent of it. And I don't know. I mean, you know, I guess kind of that does take away some of the excitement in some people's eyes if you learn everything about the game beforehand, but it also gives you a better understanding about what you're getting into and sets the expectation. Now, all that being said, I am super excited for this game regardless. And I think that everything that I just mentioned is probably why it's taking so long for them to actually push out more information about the Avengers project, because they want to make it a game of the year and have a longevity that these games generally don't. But that's for another video altogether, guys. And so that's going to be it for this video. Make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Hit the bell notification to be notified whenever I post these videos. E3 is next month, so I'm going to be covering a lot of the things that happen at E3, including Avengers Project, which I'm almost positive will be mentioned in some form or fashion, along with Ultimate Alliance 3 and other games. Thank you for watching, guys, and I hope to see you next time.